Hello and welcome to the TRC main show, number 15.
Hey!
Man, we just keep kicking these up. You may notice arrangements a little different today.
We brought out the Cyclones today and got rid of the Minks.
We got rid of the Anthony, too.
And we got rid of the Anthony. No, it's...
no, he's having a day off. He's not gone forever.
We are all, because we were gone for a very long time with SEMA, we literally got back and just got right back into work.
Yeah. That week back was important. We had to have that.
It was like we had to get rid of, like, it was like a data dump. Like, we had to, like, unload all this data. And then unload the trailer and all our stuff and everything we brought back. But we are all taking a day off this week. Your folks went to Seattle this weekend.
Yep.
So they were off. They're flying back today. So they had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off.
I took Monday.
You took Monday off. Anthony's taking today. I'm taking tomorrow. I asked John if he was going to take a day off, and he said he didn't need one. And I said, well, you left early on Friday, so it doesn't count.
He doesn't want to hear that.
Of course, he's
just a working machine.
He did only come with us for part of the time. He wasn't there for the whole thing. So,
okay, that's true.
You know.
Yeah. His feet still were, attached to his ankles. So not like the rest of us.
Well, so because Anthony's not here, we can go deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
Nobody can dig us back out.
I thought it'd be kind of fun if we went a little deeper than usual. Maybe we touch on some topics like where Anthony would go, okay, guys, you need to bring it back. Like, getting lost here. You're really in the weeds.
Well, it's because, we can get down into this level, but Anthony sometimes gets lost.
Poor guy. We love Anthony. Yeah. Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, we love you. We miss you.
You're detailing. I'm like interested in like the sociology, the psychology of it, whatever. But man, you're interested in all that stuff. So
and we thought this would be a great topic, as evidenced by. Saw a lot of posts this week.
Ooh, yeah, busy week. If you're looking around,
and it's only Tuesday, so really Monday and Tuesday. So that's all. We've seen a lot of posts.
Well, some like overlap from the weekend.
Like, a little bit.
If you watch those Facebook groups, that's where the action is, right? Nowadays, it's like Facebook groups, Reddit, all that stuff. If you're, even kind of interested in detailing, take a look around. Some places can be a little toxic, but for the most part, it's a good place to, see what other people are thinking, doing.
Well, and
showing off.
In the spirit, next week is Thanksgiving.
Right.
And as reading your notes as to what we want to talk about, there's one thing that I noticed that needs to be reminded of us, I guess, as humans, is gratitude.
Oh, how about that?
And so basically the topics we're going to talk about is back to sniping. Internet
never
snipers.
Really goes away.
It doesn't ever go away, no matter how many times we explain this. And it's prolific in every group, whether you're in Detailing for Dummies, whether you're in Detailer Buddies, whether you're in Obsessed Garage, whether you're in the American Detailer Garage. However, I will say all those moderators of all those groups I'm personal friends with, and they do a really good job of catching that and weeding it out beforehand.
And it can't be 100% perfect, but the best thing you can do is try. And other people, when you see it, let them know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like being a narc. It's just basically trying to keep the community a place where people want to be.
Yeah. Well, and so to start off, one thing that, we were talking about objectivity and subjectivity when it comes to the detailing content.
Oh, sorry, not to cut you off, but I was going to say, if you haven't read the article or seen the video, look for the video. Just type in Detailing Sniper and look for the Detox episode where Levi and Dylan talk about it. And what they're talking about, I mean, they kind of extrapolate a lot of stuff from the article and talk a little bit more, up to date about what's been going on. But you can read the article, too, which I think is, like in the Detailing for Dummies group on Facebook, it's like the top pinned post. You can always go find the article there.
And if you do, one thing we do say is if you do see anybody sniping or being disrespectful or, post that post that video or post that article.
They either shut up real quick or they get it real defensive.
In response to them. Because it you know, the whole goal for groups and all this stuff is for us to share information and learn from each other. Nobody can share information or learn from each other if someone's being disruptive in the group, or bringing down the camaraderie of the group.
And to be fair, nobody's perfect. A lot of people who've done it who are perfectly good people. So you'll find, like, if you look at the video and stuff, you see in the comments, people go, "Oh, I was that person before. I've been that person."
It's very easy.
I've been that person,
especially behind a keyboard, regardless of whether you're in a detailing group or you're in a. What was Anthony selling those cards? The Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever? Digimon cards.
He's made way too much money off that
maybe
stuff.
If you're in a Digimon group, trading group, I'm sure there are snipers in that group too.
It doesn't matter what you're enthusiastic about, cars, any of that stuff. There's someone out there just waiting to take everybody else down a peg.
I bet you it's not Digimon cards. I bet it's Pokemon.
Well, I mean,
he's probably lying to us and telling us it's Digimon, so it sounds cooler, but it's probably Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anthony, I call you out. No.
All right, so back to subjectivity and objectivity.
Yeah, so as with anything with our podcast, with detailing our shows, with Wash Wednesday, with Detox, with all those things, we are very brand neutral.
Right.
We have no problem if another company wants to come and show their wares on our channel. We have no issues with that at all.
We're Switzerland.
They're more than welcome to do that. Now,
to all the companies out there who would like to be on our shows,
come on.
You're invited. It's an open invite.
Yep.
Just call us, let us know that you're interested, and we'll put you on the calendar.
Yeah. And
I mean, unless you have a horrible reputation and you're like a complete troll and you just can't be bothered to do anything without steamrolling. So, okay, there's some talk to be had. But contact us. We will absolutely.
No, yes, we do sell Optimum products.
Yeah.
We are a distributor of their products, and so we do sell their products.
We sold their stuff because we liked using it before we ever sold it. It was like, wow, that's O&R stuff's pretty cool. Yeah.
And before we did any of the shows, we were selling O&R and Optimum products.
Yeah.
So we are a distributor of their products. We're also a distributor of Detailer's Helper. We're also a distributor of
Solution Finish here in the store. Chris West, great guy.
And we're going to be adding a couple more lines later this year. So, yes, we are going to use what we have. Why? Because it's the easiest, cheapest method for us to
it's
utilize.
Available. It's right there.
We have storeroom full of products to be able to be used at our discretion for the show.
Right.
So
it doesn't make sense to go out and purchase a bunch of like one-off boutique products to use in a video just to prove a point.
Right.
Because the people watching that are going to go, okay, well, you didn't do it on this panel sanded this way and this thing. Because there's always that person. There's always that person. If you make detailing videos, you know.
Yep. So that is our little disclaimer there. We do sell Optimum products, Solution Finish, and the Detailer's Helper belts. We also are a distributor of Grit Guard and
another
great
product.
The Grit Guard system, the dollies, the bucket dollies, the
all the stuff associated
Gamma
with
Seal lid.
I
mean, we sell a lot of these products, and so
they're not all available on the website.
Yeah,
I will
you
say,
may not like a Grit Guard. That's fine. We have them. So if you do like them, we'll sell you one too if you like. But going back to that, the other beauty of being a distributor of these products is we have access to that distribution network or those reps.
Right.
So it makes it easy and attainable for them to come visit us.
Yeah,
because it's part of it's in their, so to speak, budget.
Right. It's almost easier, to get folks like that because they're like, well, you're already selling our products. Yeah, I'll go appear on your show or whatever. But you know what? I will say, those people, they pay their own way.
They do.
It's not like, we're not making favors other than, hey, you get some airtime, kind of thing.
And then with Dylan and Rupes, we don't sell Rupes products.
Yeah, we don't sell Rupes at all.
We extended the invite. He graciously showed up because he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And we were able to coordinate it with our distributors, our Rupes distributors here, to actually have a big class and training session and stuff and demo products and tools and equipment. And guys were able to use them. And then they were able
people who were interested
to
got
walk
a chance.
out. If you hadn't bought a Rupes, you could buy one from one of our local guys here in town.
Yeah.
They attended as well, and they had product available. So we open this up to everybody. We're already in talks with Flex, with PNS Sales
for the airplane thing.
Because we were able
Bob
to hang out
Flex
with
on there.
we're able to hang out with them and we're able to do all that stuff. So we'd like to get them in-house as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal when you start coordinating 3 different people to come in at once from different areas of the country.
True.
But it's, we're doing that with everybody. I'd love to get, G-Technique in here. I'd love to get the Guion Quartz guys in here. I'd love to get the guys from Esoteric in here.
These are all guys we talked to when we were at SEMA, which was a great opportunity to get that face-to-face time.
And the beauty of the podcast is now we're going to be able to start, that's one thing we want to do this year as well, is try and get more guests from not only around the U.S. that maybe can't make it here, but around the world. Being able to get them on the podcast. We talked to Ram from Color Lock, who's out of the UK. He wanted us to come on. We've talked to Jim White about wanting to get on the podcast, White Details. So there are some guys, we'll get Patrick from TRC Europe to come on. So we've been working on trying to get some guys. We've got Saad down in Australia that we could talk to. We've got a lot of different folks that we've met, not only through SEMA, but through just our life
running
here.
in the same circles. I mean, detailing feels like a big community, but then when you start to hang in it a while, you realize, a lot of these people know a lot of these other people, and one way or another, you end up, becoming buddy-buddy with
I'm sorry, we do
guys.
sell Lake Country products. We are co-branded with them on our products and our pads. So again, that's why we had David Patterson on here. Makes it fun, and hey, he helps explain the products in which we sell. So why not have him on?
Also, such a nice guy,
and such a nice guy. So we get these guys to come in, and our goal is to extend the information that we receive from them back to you guys, so that you can utilize it in however you see fit. Whether you love it or you hate it, at least it's information that you didn't have previously. What I don't understand, and this is maybe something that it's because I grew up with it or dealt with it in my detailing career, are the guys who do not, under any circumstances, accept any explanation from anyone who may or may not be above them or has any idea what they're talking about. So
this is tainted, or if it comes from a company, it has an agenda attached to it. The agenda is to sell more products. Well, it tends to help, when you're selling products, how you sell more products, it helps to actually do such a good job that somebody wants to come back and buy more. So it's in your best interest not to be terrible or make a bad product.
I will say, if you're shilling product and you're doing it in a cheesy manner.
And some people have mastered that
Some people are great at that.
I choose my words carefully.
Some people are great at that. But if you're providing useful information to somebody that may or may not be able to apply it. Now, I will straight up say, I listened to Jimbo's podcast, and it was the first time when he interviewed Dan and Ivan together from Optimum to talk about Optimum products. And the two of them were sitting there talking about products with him. That's when I heard about the products. I always knew what they knew of them, but it wasn't until I actually listened to the two of them talk and give some of their training, tidbits or morsels or nuggets of information that's when I started thinking wait, I can do that with that product? Yeah. And then I tested it myself. I bought product. I came into the store, bought product, left, put it to the test, used it myself, and was like, oh, they're right. It works
the way they said it would work. Okay.
That was great. Now, I could have just as easily gone, screw those guys. I'm not listening to that. They're just trying to sell me on some more stuff that I don't need.
Some people just don't like being told what to do.
Right.
And the way we do things, I don't feel like we're telling people they have to do something a certain way. We're giving an option.
We ever do.
And if it ever comes across like we're saying, this is the best way to do this, well, try to read between the lines. The best way is subjective.
So in case you guys were wondering.
Subjectivity, objectivity. The best is always subjective. Now, somebody's going to come in and argue, no, the best is whatever can be quantified as being the best, based on these specific criteria. Well, that's your criteria. What's someone else's criteria? Maybe they aren't looking for the same thing.
And to pull something from the junk man.
Oh, boy. Love junk.
Technique trumps products every time.
And it does.
You have to have the right technique. If you know what you're doing and you know how you're doing it, then you can you can get it right.
Yeah.
We made a glass cleaning video. It was one of our first videos, you and I did.
Yeah.
And
I think that was our first like Details with Levi video.
It's one of our first ones.
Yeah.
And I was trying to just demonstrate the technique.
The
You
box
can use
method.
any product you want. You can use any one of our, if you notice, we used 3 or 4 different types of towels in that video.
Which, when people watch, they go, I need 3 different cuts. No,
No.
you use, and you say in the video, you're like, you can use whatever you want. I'm using this because I happen to like it, you know, and it's perfectly transparent.
Which is
the
why
way it's
we
delivered.
have 6 different glass towels.
yeah.
People always ask, what's the best glass towel? Well, what
What are you doing with it? I just want the best.
I want the best glass towel. Well, the best glass towel to me is the FTW.
Yeah.
To you, it might be just a plain 245 in black.
Yeah.
It might be the best glass towel. To somebody else, it might be the Drago, which isn't even a glass towel.
No.
But
Well, I mean, the 245 is not even a glass towel, but it works good on
but
glass
it works
because
great
it's
on
that
glass.
short pile.
Yeah. And so I can't answer that for you.
No.
Of what's the best glass towel.
I don't know what your situation is until we've talked
that
about
is
it a
one
little.
thing that if you're using, are you using water? Are you using an alcohol mix? Are you using an ammonia-based
People go to a window
cleaner?
dry. I don't understand that. But
Are you using O&R? Are you using in a spray bottle? Are you using it fully saturated?
Yeah.
You know, I liked using O&R. I just put a window towel in the bucket of O&R, pull it out, wring it out, and use that. I wouldn't even spray anything on my glass.
If it's an absorbent towel, it'll carry a lot of the stuff with it, and you could just go to town right away.
Yeah. Or are you just using OptiSeal?
Yeah.
To clean glass, or are you using Stoners, or are you using?
I've been a long time
any of those
Stoners
things.
fan. Like using that stuff, I always used to love doing that. I still use it sometimes, but it's like that or O&R for me.
Yeah.
Now, not touching Windex really, but
or
with
even
the
if
other
you're
two.
using
But
Windex.
I know there's folks who use Windex and they're happy with it, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Not my personal preference, but I know people who love it, use it, and their results are great.
But the only key that you need to do is make sure that glass is clean. I don't care how you do it.
Yeah.
Just make sure the glass is clean. And I would stress this to my guys in my shop. You know, I gave them options. And I would show them the technique, and I say, this is how I'd like it to be done. I don't care.
No.
You can use any type of towel you want. I had one kid who used a Creature Edgeless. That was because he loved that towel, and he loved using it on glass. He was like, I use just one Creature Edgeless for glass. Okay. Go
If
for it.
that's
As
what
long
works
as your
for you,
glass
I'm
looks
not going to
good.
argue. Yeah.
If you pull the car out and the car looks like crap, then we need to talk and we need to go over and I need to double check. And if every single car you've put out that week, the windows look horrible and I have to redo them all, then we need to talk about why is your towel streaking the windows? Why is your that's not the product, it's your technique.
Yeah.
It's you getting cross-contamination on the towel. It's you putting your towel down in a spot that probably shouldn't belong. You know, you're getting the towel dirty somehow and it's causing it to streak. So when we try and share information, we need to be conscious of how certain things work for certain people. It's like when we first opened our detox group on Facebook, and a friend of ours just dumped and run. That's what we call it. Basically said this product doesn't work. It doesn't do this. It doesn't work. Period. It sucks, and left. And then, now, to his credit, he did go to work. And he does work a very long job in which he can't have access to his phone. And so when he got off his very long shift, he was able to provide a proper answer. And he felt like we had called him out. And I apologized for that. And I apologized to him and called him and let him know. But he shouldn't have posted anything until he knew he had the time to get into it, or at least provide a longer response instead of a 6-word response. But when he did, it showed a very specific reason as to why he didn't like that product, which may not affect
that
70% of the other people that are going to use the product in that way.
Yeah, his technique contributed to the ultimate effect, which he didn't like. So if he changed up his technique in a way that, other people found worked for that stuff, may not work for everybody, but it's a mix and match situation. It's personal preference.
It explained it. And that's what I like, that type of stuff. I want to know if a product doesn't work for you, tell me why. I want to know if you go, man, all these towels are junk, tell me why. If it's because
you want to talk subjectivity and objectivity.
If it's because, oh man, the edges are bad or the seams are coming off, or it's like, okay, that's a production standpoint.
Right.
That's not I want to know that they didn't scratch your car.
Right.
Or that,
like the material is inherently flawed somehow, and
I want to know what's wrong with it as
paint.
to why. Don't just tell me that they suck. I need to know exactly why.
Otherwise, how are you ever going to fix something if it's something that can truly be fixed?
Exactly. So it's making sure that if you are gonna give your critique of a product, to make sure you have something to back it up with, an experience or a use or how you used it. So then people know.
Bare minimum accountability for your words, your actions, whatever. I expect that of a lot of people, and I find myself disappointed sometimes, when you don't see that follow-up or, something like that happens. But if you can just do that, if you can just provide your even if it's not everybody else's experience, if it's your logic, your reality, that's what you're experiencing, we have no reason to doubt, there's no reason that you're lying or anything. The conditions you're in, all that stuff contribute to the experience you had. And if you think something sucks, explain why it sucks.
Right.
And we'll be able to work with you based on the information you give us.
Yeah.
If you don't give us a complete picture, we can't help. But, this is something every company goes through, is that whole customer service, aspect. And like any company, no matter how good they are, you're going to have some stuff that gets through the cracks, flaws that happen.
We had an order come in today or yesterday, and a customer had left a comment and said, hey, just so you know, some of the products I bought last time, da-da-da-da-da. And so I called him back.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine on Facebook and Instagram. We've been following each other for years. He made that comment. So I called him and said, hey, what was up?
Yeah.
He explained the situation to me. I said, okay, well, that's normal. That's what goes on with buying wholesale.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I understand that. And then I explained, if it's above this percentage, call me. Let me know, because I need to know that, because the last thing I need is to have product that is defective, or, when we're doing that kind of thing. Having
real issues versus,
but a goal of it is, make sure you're sharing that information with me. But your first comment kind of scared me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling to find out, and then I find out it wasn't that large of an issue.
Well, and it scared you because we care.
Yeah, because we're worried about that stuff.
Yeah.
But it let him know that, I was thinking about it. 2, I want to make it right or fix it. And 3, it gave him an idea of what to look for on the next one.
Right.
So it helped us all around, and he was really excited and happy about that. So it goes back to, we did get deep here, but it goes back to that gratitude. I have gratitude for our customers when they explain their issues and concerns that they have with us, because it helps make us a better company.
Yeah.
It gives us that feedback so that we know what we need to fix or change or
we would
do
be
to be better.
Completely remiss not to take advantage of what people offer us in forms of, constructive criticism, anything like that. That's always good stuff. And you see some, cases where people get really defensive about anybody telling them something they did was wrong. Well, based on context, you can decide if that's something you can work on, or if that was something that was more to do with that person than you. And in the case of being a company, we're always paying attention to what people tell us, talk to us about. If there's an issue, we're always right on it to make sure we can resolve it. If it's something where it's more on their end than our end, well, we'll try and help, but there's always those degrees to which you can't control the situation.
But it goes back to that, sharing information. The other thing that I noticed is, so in Obsessed Garage, there was a post about the Big Red Sponge.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, for those of you that have never used it and don't care for sponges, I totally understand it.
Sponge!
It's totally fine. But the question was posed, why does the Big Red Sponge work when others don't?
Right. And that's a fair question.
Yeah.
That is a totally
I think all of us want to know. So, Yvonne came on. Yvonne LaCroix of Optimum, who developed the Big Red Sponge. He designed it. So why not find out from the man who designed it?
Oh, but that guy's got an agenda.
Did all the R&D on it. He went through 97 sponges.
He knows more about that thing than anybody else will ever know.
Yeah. 30 different types of foam, 30 or 40 types of foam. I mean, he did. You want to get deep with that guy? He will take you so far down.
That's
like
it right
you can,
there. I think a lot of people just think foam is foam, and they're not. Anybody who's used foam pads knows there's a difference in different kinds of foam.
We'll get Yvonne and Dan and David David Patterson in the podcast together, and the three of them.
Oh my God!
Or the two of them and us.
We're gonna sit them in this room and just let them hash out.
You guys
want
to know about foam and why it?
You're gonna be bleeding from your ears by the time they're done.
So going back to it, Yvonne gave the answer. Now, this is the man who invented this foam, this specific red foam sponge.
Yeah.
There is no other like it on the market.
But I saw this other one. It looked the same, and it was a different color, but I swear it's the same one. It's just a different color.
It's not.
It's not.
So, Lake Country has a blue sponge. Yep. It's a grout sponge.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's an open cell foam. It's completely different. Texturally feels different. Completely, it doesn't.
But it's still got those cuts in it. I swear,
it
looks the same.
It's got the same crisscross cut, but that's it. And it deteriorates really fast because the O&R destroys the foam. The big red sponge, the BRS, is designed out of a completely different type of foam. It's one of the most expensive foams on the market.
And that's why when you look at the blue one compared to the red one, people see the price discrepancy and they just go,
$5 and $25. Yeah,
oh,
it's
well,
a
that
big
red
difference.
one must have just a massive markup if that blue one is that cheap.
Because the blue foam sponge, $5, $5.99 on AutoGeek or something like that.
And that's like the going rate for a lot of other sponges like that.
It lasts. It'll last maybe. I think I got 5 cars out of it.
Yeah.
Before it broke in half.
Not too surprising.
The big red sponge, I've been able to do over 1,000 cars.
Yeah.
996 cars before I replaced it. That's in his shop,
like where it's getting heavy-duty use.
It got used
day in, day out.
Daily, slept in O&R every day of its life.
And that's an important thing, too. I don't think everybody who has it realizes.
The big red sponge must always stay wet in O&R. Yeah. Now, if that's all you do is O&R, cool. Big red sponge will work great for you.
Yeah.
If you're just learning about O&R, I don't recommend you get into the big red sponge because there is a learning curve with learning how to use it.
Use towels or use, your favorite mitt or something like that.
So Yvonne goes down, shows it, and then posts a video about how to use the big red sponge and about it and all that stuff. There, answer.
Yeah.
Cool. Guy who invented it just explained it to you very simply, very effectively, shows you how to use it. You make the call whether you want to buy it or not.
Yeah, nobody's holding a gun to your head saying,
you just
watched this video, now the video's like, you're going to buy it, right? And it's
thanks for answering the question.
Yeah.
There's your gratitude. That's all you need to do.
That's all you need.
Then someone comes on.
Here we go.
And explains straight up, without providing any extra facts, that sponges are the worst wash medium, period. And you're an idiot if you think that you can wash a car with a sponge, regardless if that sponge was designed to be used with that product.
Yeah, it's like...
And that was all he wrote. And then someone goes, why are you trolling? Why are you sniping? Why are you doing this? Like, the guy answered a question. It was answered just right. Why are you leaving a comment? And then that guy proceeded to create a whole list again of bashing and upset and pissed and, I'm just trying to provide. Well, you're not providing information. You're literally doing a dump and run where you're telling people something sucks, don't use it, but you're not giving them any other information other than it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks.
There's nothing
wrong.
How
many times I could tell you it sucks. Why are you not listening to me? It's not going to work.
There's nothing wrong with being a skeptic of anything.
Right.
When it comes to products or any of that stuff. But the thing is, with products like this, you can find somebody who either has one or you can get one yourself, try it and go, oh, well, I guess they were full of crap. Or, wow, that totally changes my opinion on this. I'm going to have to reevaluate everything I thought I knew about sponges.
And you and I field a ton of questions from customers that go, hey, I bought that big red sponge, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and you know what? That is the experience for some people.
So what we have to do is explain to them, what were you doing? You need to break it in first. It needs to sit in O&R. There's a lot of things with it. It needs to sit in O&R for about a week. 24 hours is the minimum, but I always recommend, put it in your butt. If you buy it on a Saturday and you're going to wash your car next Saturday, throw it in the bucket O&R and let it sit there for a week. It's got to break down a little bit. It's got to get saturated. It's got to be able to become more pliant.
Yeah, like you said, it's got a learning curve.
Yeah.
So,
and then you've got to learn how to manipulate the sponge.
Right.
So you've got to learn how to wash with that. After you do 2 or 3 washes with the car on that and with that sponge, you start to get the hang of the sponge itself and how it works, what it can clean, what it can't, what it can do. And then you get really good at it. And then those are the customers that go, oh my gosh, this thing is the greatest thing I've ever used in my life.
Yeah. Well,
but they had to learn, they had to do the trial and error in the process. And the first question that is always asked is, why is that work? Why does the sponge work when others don't? So all you need is the answer. Here's the reason.
Why.
Here's why it works. But to have somebody come up and go, no, it's a sponge, it's bad, it doesn't work, period, without either, 1, never using it, 2, being against learning of any kind. They didn't have to, they just had to look at that and go, okay.
Prejudice of any kind is bad.
It goes back to the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I mean,
or back it up with
the facts.
Experience, facts, data, whatever you got.
And go, look, man, I polished some really soft paint, and I would use that in between steps, and it was scratching and marring. Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
That's totally valid.
So on soft paint, it doesn't work. Okay, have you tried it on hard paint? Oh yeah, I did it on hard paint.
Totally
no
fine.
Had no problems.
Okay, well, you didn't say that.
So explain yourself. It's the same thing as say you have a towel that scratches.
Yeah.
Well, were you using an 80-20 or 70-30? Were you on soft paint or hard paint? What products were you using? And if they come back and go, well, here's the product I was using, and this is the towel, then we can go, okay, well, here's the reasons you're getting that. If you switch to this, try it again and see.
Yeah.
You probably won't have those issues. And 90% of the time, you don't. So it's learning through that process of elimination.
Yeah.
Offering that process of, elimination.
Yeah.
To be able to garner that experience. I mean, I grew up detailing cars, and the only information I got was from other people around me.
Yeah.
The first person to teach me how to detail cars was my dad and my mom. They detailed cars when I was an infant and toddler, and my mom used to joke that I used to help her detail cars, that she jokes that I started detailing cars when I was like 18 months old.
Right.
Because I was helping her wipe down wheels or something.
Sure.
And before that, she'd throw me in a back, like in one of those baby carrier
Bjorn
backpacks.
Or whatever. Oh, yeah.
And she would carry me on her back. My mom's only 5 foot tall. She's little. But she would carry me on her back, and she would clean and wax cars and do that. And my dad would be in there cleaning the interior and stuff and getting it all done.
Detailing's evolved a little since then, too.
They used to do that. And I remember even when I was like 5 or 6 going with my dad to pick up friends' cars and stuff that he was going to, clean and wax and polish and get them all dialed in and looking sharp. And he'd do that just for side money on the side. And but when I learned how to do it, I remember my dad had one cabinet in his garage that had all his detailing products in it. And I remember learning about them, reading them, going to the dealers, the shops at the time that had products to buy, learning, listening, learning about Carnauba, learning about, all-purpose cleaners, learning about the old school method of washing oxidized paint with Comet, which for some of you guys that have never heard that, it is freaky. You cannot do it on a clear-coated car. You will scratch the hell out of it. But on an oxidized car, it does a really great job of removing that first layer of oxidation. And then when you polish or wax it, you can get all those scratches out because of the way the single stage works. So, so that's how I learned. But I learned from my dad because I would ask him questions like, okay, so how do I get this out? And he would go, well, let me show you how you do it. And he had an old polisher that was heavier than, oh my gosh, it's an old Milwaukee. And it's just
like 16 pounds or something.
It's insane. No, it's probably 40 pounds. I mean, it's heavy. Dude, it's a beast.
Jeez.
I'm not. It's probably not 40. It's probably like 25. But still,
it's up when you're a little guy, and
it's a machine. So, but I learned from him because that was who I had.
Yeah,
that was my forum to go into and pose a question. Have you ever heard of this? Do you think it works? And when my dad couldn't answer those questions, then I'd ask the next person, which became my delivery man, who sent me products.
You didn't have internet groups.
We call them jobbers.
Stuff.
Yeah, so. He'd pull up on a truck and he would have products, and I would go, well, why does this product work and this doesn't? And he'd explain, well, here's the differences between the two. I didn't instantly go like, nope, you're wrong. Like, no, because I didn't have that knowledge either. And if there are products where I know I'm not going to use, but I'm not going to tell them don't go selling those products anymore because they don't really work. That's not my place. They work for other people.
Yeah, it's like looking at somebody like they're a criminal and going, I'm watching you. You kind of think, it's like, whoa, hold on.
So there are a lot of detailers that use the silicone-heavy tire dressing.
Sure, yeah.
Because they do dealer work,
right,
or wholesale work, as we call it. And dealers like tires shiny and glossy and dripping.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Gooey, yeah.
But it's a hexane-based product. It's like a blue, it's got a lot of silicone in it. Yeah. And people buy the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Now, in my shop, we used only OptiBond, and the reason was we had looked for a water-based tire dressing. We had other water-based tire dressing. Most of them were B&B blended products. But when we were using them, just trying to see, OptiBond gave us our best results. The fact we could spray it out of a gun was even better. It cut our time in half. That's why we used OptiBond tire gel. But when my guy came in and asked, you need tire dressing? I didn't say, no, I've got it. This is the best stuff. You should be carrying this and stop carrying that other stuff.
Stop carrying the junk.
Right.
It's like, well.
Well, he carries 6 or 7 different tire dressings because he may sell barrels of this stuff to other companies or dealerships that love it and use it and have no feedback issues, period, because it's out the door.
Just I was going to say, because it doesn't hang around long enough for them to find out.
Exactly. They don't have customers banging on their door going, hey, what's that stuff you put on my tires?
Yeah.
I want to get me some more of that. Like, they don't ever do that.
No.
So, he would explain to me the information he had.
Right.
Which he had a lot of information. He was a detailer for 20 years previously, and then he was a chemical salesman for 15 years.
So he's been around the block. He kind of knows the deal with that stuff.
And so I used him as my mentor.
Yeah.
And learned everything I could and gleaned every bit of information. And I had questions I'd call him in the evenings and just want to talk shop because I had questions I needed answered. I didn't have forum groups. I didn't have, any of that stuff. Then I got into the forums. Then I started learning and going like, oh, hey, have you guys seen this new type of clay? It's not a clay bar, it's a clay sponge. Have you seen this? That was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I started seeing that. And I was like,
that's kind of neat.
I wonder if that'll make us be a little quicker, if that'll scratch the car. I was asking questions.
Yeah.
But not once did someone tell me, hey, no, you don't, you know what? Those clay sponges, don't ever touch them. Don't use them. They're
don't
the
even
worst.
Talk about them.
They're the worst. A real detailer uses clay, an actual bar, and kneads it and makes it malleable and uses it. And that's the only way you can clay a car. Well, no one said that.
It's like
people gave their experience. They said, hey, if you buy a cheap one, it can scratch your car really badly. Mm-hmm. If you buy a higher, more expensive one, it's safer for your paint. But don't be freaked out by the price because it'll last a lot longer. The quality is there that you'll get more use out of it than you would if you bought 10 cheap ones.
Yeah.
Spend the money and get a good one, And that was the information that you need to know, The cheap ones will scratch your car because they're not built to the same level of quality as the more expensive ones.
But clay is clay, and it's all the same. And I heard that from this one guy that it's all made by the same company, and it's...
Yeah. So there's take the good information,
right?
Utilize it. Listen to the bad information if you can.
At least take you have that there now.
Or if you find something wrong, explain it.
Right.
Don't just throw it out there and cause that uproar, explain why.
Yeah.
If the big red sponge doesn't work for you, explain why it doesn't work for you in your setting. Don't just say all sponges are bad, period. It's the worst way to wash a car.
Yeah.
No. Tell everybody that's on that group why the big red sponge didn't work for you. Because they can take that information and go, okay, so-and-so said they had a problem with it on this type of paint. And then they can remember, oh, as a matter of fact, I have one of those cars here.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to use the big red sponge on here. Or, hey, I got the big red sponge, I got a polisher. I wonder if he was right. Oh, yep, he was. Okay, now I know. I'm checking that box so that I know on this type of car. Just like when we detail cars, we know this type of carpet's a pain in the butt. You need to use this type of tool, and this type of tool. You cannot use this type of tool because it's going to be ineffective. You cannot use this type of tool because it's going to be ineffective. You learn as a detailer what things you can use based on what make, model, manufacturer, all that stuff is.
Yeah.
I mean...
But Levi, you just told me everything is totally up to my own opinion, and if I want to use that other sponge or brush you said was bad, I'm going to try it, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to find out for myself how it works.
And then you're going to make a check mark.
And then you're going to go, I guess that guy was right.
Oh, okay, now I know.
But it's up to you to, verify if you want to make absolute sure, rather than just running around and telling people it's the worst thing ever and all that stuff. You have, experience, facts, data, stuff you can offer if somebody asks, like, well, why do you say not to use that? And you can offer up some examples.
I've got 20 years of experience detailing cars. Am I the best? No. There are guys that are 10 times better than me, 100 times better than me. Even my guy that I trained is a better detailer than I am.
He's really good.
And it's because, he listens and learns and then utilizes it.
Yep.
He's quick and efficient, but is perfect in what he can do.
And I think that's one of the things, like, this is kind of going off, once again, a tangent, but it's that whole, if you're being efficient, then you must not be doing good work.
That too.
That is a thing that comes up constantly.
And that's another thing.
And you hear that in a lot of these groups and stuff, and that's part of, like we were saying, with, the whole, I was reading that really good post Matt made in Obsessed Garage. That was a good read, and he was talking about, Barry Thiel and the whole, best wax for black cars, and this whole thing about, beginners or people who are DIY weekend warriors versus the guys who are pros. Like, for example, you. I mean, you got 20 years experience.
I've got well
That's
over.
That's not nothing.
Yeah, and I've got well over, 10,000 hours, so to speak. The Malcolm Gladwell theory of 10,000 hours to make you a master.
Right.
I've overachieved that. Like, I'm over that. But the run up to that was a very long, hard road for me to get to that point, which is why I named my shop Masters of Shine, because it was my first, I was reading Outliers at the time of when I was starting to build my shop, and that part kind of spoke to me.
Yeah.
And so it's having all that information and putting through the tests, so to speak, of does this product work, does this product not work, does this technique work, does this technique not work. My whole goal was to try and make myself more efficient.
Right.
Because it resulted in more money.
Well,
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to make a living. There are a lot of guys
if you're
that
trying to make more money and you're more efficient, then you must be doing hack jobs, right? I mean, clearly you're just churning them out.
And I can have guys come in and sit down, and we can get two identical cars, put them side by side, and I will put you up against Matt Ward.
Good luck.
And we'll do the same level steps of detailing whatever product or package you want to build, I'll put it up against Matt.
Basically like a task list. Here's what you got to accomplish, and at the end, we'll examine your work and see. Next thing you know, Matt's done 20 minutes in, and you're working for the next hour and a half, and you go and look at the work afterwards and go, so was that extra hour and 10 minutes worth it? Or
Now, and Matt was a guy that would come into the shop, and he would just get to work.
Yeah.
He'd talk to his, he'd say bye to his wife, he'd talk to his kid, his dad would stop by, and come hang out in the shop for a bit and bring us coffee and breakfast sandwiches and stuff. But Matt would always take his phone and put it in his toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
and he would leave it there.
Distractions away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'd Bluetooth his headphones and put on a podcast or something or music, and just he gets into the car.
Yeah.
And he's right in that car, and you do not disrupt him from that. He will get that car done and get everything done at the right, and he does it at the fastest pace he possibly can. Why? Because he's got a mortgage to pay, he's got car payments to pay, he's got a kid to feed, he's got a wife to feed, he's got some dogs, he's got, he has responsibilities. And he looks at it and goes, I'm here to make the most amount of money I possibly can in this time period. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing, what I look for is I don't want that car coming back.
No.
So Matt does the same thing. He goes, I'm going to make sure I don't make any mistakes so that that car doesn't come back. Because if that car comes back, it costs me money, it costs me time.
Now, if that car comes back because a customer had such a great experience that they want to place another detail,
that's all right.
That's a different kind of car coming back. That's
right.
okay.
But I had another guy that used to work for me that he'd come in, he'd check his phone, he'd say, what's up? He'd hang out. He'd go get his Rockstar, go get a cigarette. He'd walk outside, set his Rockstar down, smoke a cigarette, check his phone, call some people.
Oh, yeah, I guess
out,
I got to detail something.
Do some stuff.
Oh.
The whole time, Matt has already, gotten most of his interior done in this amount of time. And so he's able to get, say he's almost 45 minutes in work time. He's probably only been 20 minutes working on the car.
Right.
But this other employee has been spending 20 minutes just smoking, drinking a Rockstar, trying to wake up.
Yeah.
And
I'll get there eventually.
Get ready for work, right? But he's at work, and he's waking up.
Yeah.
And then he's getting into the car. Then he's, let me find the right podcast I want to listen to. Put his headphones on.
If you have that passion, that drive, you're going to be awake when you get there.
Now, I will say he was a great detailer.
Yeah.
They're both amazing detailers. But one would get 3 to 4 cars done a day.
Yep.
One would get 2 cars done a day. And that was just how he was, because after every step, the second guy...
Literally twice as many.
The second guy would smoke in between, every 30 minutes or so, he'd go have a cigarette, hang out, check his phone, get a soda, just kind of hang out, relax. Matt was, I'm working, I'm walked in, I work until lunch. Then I go to lunch. Then when I come back, I work until I need to go home.
And this isn't a case of...
That's it. He pulls his phone out at lunch, and he makes some calls.
Sure.
Checks in on things, sees how things are going while he's eating his lunch.
Yeah.
And that's he's a great detailer, but he's very efficient in not only how he runs himself, but how he runs his life. So it translates to him getting cars done more efficiently and quicker. He's not wasting time.
Well, and it's not a case of...
You start adding it up, and all of a sudden the other guy's wasted 2 hours of the day just smoking cigarettes. 2 hours of work time.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes.
Well, in Matt's case, he's working smarter and harder at the same time.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when you're working at, that kind of gig where it's the number of cars coming through, all that stuff, makes a difference. Like, you get out of it what you put into it.
Right.
So,
and because his quality is always on point,
Yeah.
he got the higher end paying jobs. He got the more retail customers. He got the
trust
coding
level
jobs.
goes up.
He got the stuff because his work was flawless every time. I didn't have to worry about him getting sidetracked. Oh man, I forgot that fender. Oh man, I forgot to do this bumper. Oh, I forgot. Like,
I forgot that whole car.
Yeah, but like he was efficient in how he handled himself and
Right.
professional in how he handled himself. So that has allowed him to do great work. The other guy's still a great detailer.
Yeah.
Does good stuff, but is just a little more scatterbrained in how he does things. Now, I'm in the middle of the two of them. I can focus when I need to focus, but at the same time, I'm also trying to run the shop.
Yeah.
So I would have to get up and make phone calls, talk to customers when they'd call, schedule appointments.
Spinning a lot of plates on.
So I'd get in, I'd be able to sit down and maybe polish a panel for an hour, and then I have to get up and I'd have to leave. So it'd take me longer to get a car done because I have so much other stuff I have to do throughout the day that some days it was frustrating. I just want to sit and stare at my headlamp in the paint, polish some paint for a while. But even when I say I turn my phone off for the whole day and nobody calls, I'm still that guy that's in between the two of them. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to check my phone, text my wife, do that kind of stuff. That's just me. You know, but when I'm in the groove and I'm working, I'm doing it pretty good. But it's because I've learned from different people. I've taken different things. I've taken from one detailer, taken from another, and learned what makes them successful, what makes them, you know, successful, but not, you know, how they handle themselves. Okay, I don't want to do this. I want to do like this person. Right. So that's how it is with life, period. Yeah. And it's that way, whether it's our industry or any other industry, just like Matt was saying, Obsessed Garage, like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or a doctor or a banker or, you know, anything, a janitor, like there's probably some super efficient janitors. The girl that's cleaning our building right here, they know what they're doing. Like they're killing efficient at it. Sheetrockers. Yeah. I always say, and in Detox I've always said this, try and sheetrock your house or a room and see if you can save the money than paying somebody that does it every single day.
What is your time worth?
Exactly. So to the guys that are the DIYers and the weekend warriors, and you do that because you get personal satisfaction out of it.
And that's where I was trying to
save money.
The flip side of the coin was some of these guys, they don't care about efficiency. They just want to have that therapy, that enjoyment of working on the car.
But that's therapy. Inside or out,
and that is different.
It's not a business.
And once again, this is where I would say it's all about what you're looking to get out of this. If you're looking to make detailing a business, then you probably want to steer more towards the Levi, model, Matt model, those guys. And if you're just doing it for yourself, then do it for yourself. That's fine. Yeah. But
and
don't like chastise others.
Then do it like the Matt Moorman Obsessed Garage style, where he does it as therapy.
Right.
Washing his car is therapy for him. He has a day job.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had customers that have called that did the same thing. They're CEOs, they're executives, and that's their therapy.
Right.
My dad's therapy is working on old cars.
And there's
He's got a bunch of old trucks. That's what he does. He comes home from work and he goes in his garage and he just works on restoring old cars.
And to somebody else, that looks like work, but for him, it's not.
It's not work. Someone's like, I can't believe you're on your back all weekend swapping out a starter or putting in a transmission or doing this or putting in a new rear end. That's therapy for my dad. That's a Zen moment for him.
Same way these guys are in their driveway detailing. The neighbor comes over, you do mine next.
Yeah. Whole thing. There are guys that's what's your relaxation there, Dane?
Actually, video editing. That's one of those funny things. Like it's therapeutic for me. Yeah. I enjoy video editing because like I was saying about Matt, you get in that flow, and when you're in that zone, it's great. It's when I get pulled aside to go do something else that I kind of snap out of it.
Go, Dane, I need you to do this. I need you to carry this. I need you to lift. And you're like, I just need to let me
count
finish.
This order. It's like, good.
And you're like, let me finish this video, please. I've got to finish it.
It was therapeutic, and then suddenly the earth shatters, and it's like, back to reality. Here we go.
Yeah. So that's why Dane stays late at night, is because that's his.
That's my quiet time. I'm here late sometimes.
He's not interrupted. He doesn't have people pulling him out different ways. So there's certain ways that we all have that therapy.
Right.
But we have to recognize that it's either business, and if it's business, then you cannot waste the amount of time that you do. So you do need to learn efficient steps or tools or processes, and you need to garner and glean all that information from everybody in the industry to make you a better detailer.
So the measure of success for somebody is highly dependent on what they're looking to get out of it.
Right.
Success for somebody who's the driveway guy just enjoying, or garage guy just working in there. Success is, I wasn't miserable. So I had a
and my
great
car
time.
Is clean.
My car and
I
clean.
Used products that I love, whether you're using our products, whether you're using, say, Microfiber Madness's products or Auto Fiber products or Towel Pros, you're using anybody else's stuff, we'll say microfiber.
Yeah.
You used products that, one, you enjoy. You enjoy the tactile feel of it. You enjoy getting them soapy. You enjoy getting polish off with them. You enjoy that. That is therapeutic.
If it's what you enjoy doing, it's therapeutic. It's that simple.
And your car looks amazing, and you've got a sense of accomplishment out of it, and maybe your wife's happy because you cleaned her car.
And I do think that's a big part of it, is that just
there's
kind
an
of like
instant gratitude.
Okay, wow, look at that. And when you're done, you actually feel like you accomplished something. I mean, if it's as simple as cleaning the house. I mean,
well, my mother-in-law has stated...
Do the dishes, whatever.
My mother-in-law has stated that that's how she relaxes, is cleaning the house.
Yeah.
That's her therapy. And for years, my wife, she'd always come over and want to clean our house. Yeah. And my wife was like, no, I don't want you to do it. Like, I feel bad. And she looked at it, and because I would call her and go, I want to clean your car.
Right.
You know, and she was like, it's kind of dirty. It's kind of gross. But I was like, no, I need it. You know, for me, it was, one, I was doing a service for her.
More practice time.
I wanted to clean it for her.
Yeah.
One, just because I wanted her to feel, loved and cared for and taken care of, and it's, I want to clean her car for her. I'm her son-in-law. I want to do that for her. And
I could get you a gift card for your birthday, or I could just go and detail your car.
I do it for my parents too. I've done my parents' cars, and it's that same thing. And I know a lot of detailers that do this.
Yeah.
So, I do that for her, and she would call us and go, I want to clean your house. And her explanation was, no, it's my zen. It's how I clear my head.
And she's saying that because she's like, my house is already clean.
Her house is already, a different house. Her house is already, it's like that. You're cleaning your car for so long.
You're next on the list.
Yeah,
so,
let me clean. Yeah, and she's not paid. She's not paid for it. She just cleans her own house, and then she comes over and cleans ours.
And I get feeling guilty about it, but at the same time, they want to do that.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, and it's not a oh my gosh, these kids are pigs, and let me make sure they're cleaning the house.
It's different if you're like cleaning and then suddenly you're saying like, oh, this is my chance to rant about everything because I'm doing something nice. That's the whole nice guy thing.
She likes doing it. No. And so, you guys probably saw she bought a new car and or heard it back on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I detailed it for her because the dealership did a horrible job. It was covered in water. It was just, but I wanted to do that for her.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you for letting me clean your car and getting it. And she goes, it looks amazing. And I go, thank you for letting me do it. It was fun. And she goes, that's why I like cleaning your house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that moment that I understood that's her therapy.
Yeah.
She likes to do this because, one, it makes her feel useful. Two, it's a service she likes to provide to our family because she feels like it relieves some stress off my wife.
And it's appreciated. People show gratitude and appreciation.
Right, exactly.
But they don't expect something in return. It's just...
Well, and in my...
It's just nice.
And in the... Yeah. And I'll tell you guys, I'm LDS, and you probably know that already. And one of the big tenets of our belief in our church is service. Mm-hmm. And it's being of service to others. That's the most effective way to show someone that you care for them, is to provide a service.
I'm not, but I can't argue with that.
No,
that is absolutely...
If I call you, Dane, and say, Anthony broke his... Yeah, let's say Anthony broke his leg, and I call you and I go...
Anthony.
Yeah, sorry, Anthony. He didn't break his leg, but let's say he did. And let's say his roommate is out of town, and his girlfriend calls us, and she's like, you guys, the leaves are way too much.
Yeah.
It's fall right now. I need help raking the leaves. Can you guys come over and help... rake leaves on a Saturday. Sorry, my throat's getting... and you and I go over and rake the leaves.
Yeah.
That's providing a service for Anthony. That's showing that we care.
Right.
That's it.
That's all it has to be.
That's all it is.
There's nothing attached to that. There's nothing else. It's just, that was a thing, needed to be done. We happen to be available,
we did it, and we
care about somebody. We want to help them out.
Right.
Just do that. Yep. Don't expect stuff in return just because you did something nice.
Or like last winter, we had a crazy snow.
Oh, man.
And you decide you're shoveling the sidewalk. And you shovel your neighbor's sidewalk. Or your neighbor comes and shovels yours for you.
Yeah. No, we worked together, did the whole cul-de-sac.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And it makes everyone around you in your neighborhood feel good.
Yeah.
And it's the old adage, many hands make light work.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to those little things. So whether you're a DIYer and you're doing it as therapy and as a service to your family or friends or for yourself, maybe that's how you enjoy that. You get that done, you feel good. You're like, all right, we got that handled. And maybe your wife feels amazing that you finished that, or your husband if you're a gal and doing that. It goes back to you're learning how to use good products that you like. You're learning as to why you want to choose those good products, by asking the questions, how does this work? How does this compare? And you glean that information that you receive from others. The toxic information, the information that we've been discussing, doesn't have a place unless it helps you with your service, with your therapy, with your business, and in life. And that's everything. You can get that anywhere and everywhere.
But if I'm going to be that guy who's just chipping in just because I have a chip on my shoulder and I'm upset about something, I'm going to throw that out there. I always kind of wonder, like, okay, is this person being a troll? Do they really think they're being helpful / charitable? Or is it somewhere in between?
Yeah.
And figuring that out. And regardless of what the answer is, you can, depending on the person, you can try and evaluate whether there's someone you really want to engage with or not. And if there's somebody that you feel like, okay, let me just give this a shot, see what this person's about. More often than not, I've found that those people who initially seemed like trolls were actually perfectly reasonable people. They just kind of had to, let something out. And then when you talk to them about it, they suddenly become reasonable. And I know that sounds crazy because like, oh, trolls are trolls. They're not going to change their mind just because, whatever. But a lot of people that come across that way, maybe based on your own experiences, you see somebody talking a certain way or something, you immediately think, oh, this person's trouble. This person's going to, cause, something.
Yeah.
Talk to them and find out that, well, actually they did have one bad experience and they let it paint their whole experience with that particular kind of product or whatever it was. Just talk it through with them and find out what their experience was. And you can usually decipher if what they had to say was true, but maybe only in their specific instance. And you can offer an alternative that suddenly makes it so that they feel like they can go back, reuse that product or that technique or whatever and go, oh, I never tried it that way, or nobody ever told me, or whatever. And then they go back and next thing you know, they're not as grumpy and you got a new friend maybe. I don't know. Could turn out that way. Now, they're just terrible people, then they're just going to be terrible people. They're just getting it out on the internet. And
there's a guy, so I was going to read this. So there's a guy named Tony Reagan, and he has a quote in which he was writing in an article, and it's in last month's issue of Success magazine. He says, "Gratitude is our best weapon, an ally to counter these internal and external threats that rob us of sustainable joy." And that kind of thinking to make sure that you're always gracious and, thankful for anything that you do in your life will help you be a better person.
It's not the worst thing,
seriously?
guys. I mean, if you're going to try at anything, being a better person to those around you usually ends up making you feel better too. So
well, and I understand if people are, upsetting and pissing you off and you can't handle it anymore.
The world's out to get you.
But you don't take it out in a Facebook group. Don't take it out on a thing. Look inside yourself and see what it is that's causing that strife.
What's the real
and maybe
catalyst for that?
There's a lot of fanboys that get a little grumpy and upset about certain other companies, and they attack those companies. Or
there's room for everybody,
and they only
guys.
love this. I only buy this stuff from this one person and this product from this person. That's it. I don't buy anything else because it's all garbage. Well,
is it all garbage?
What you don't know is we're all friends.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that, maybe the products that you buy are made by the same company.
That one cracks me up.
That makes the products that you hate.
Yep.
And it's actually the same product. It's just got a different label on it.
Happens more often than you think.
And you don't notice that. So it's, but it's going
But to that point, the sponges are different. I just want to reiterate. The sponges are different.
Yeah, they are different. But they're made by the same company.
Yeah, they are made by the same company.
They're made by Lake Country.
Different foam.
But there is a new foam, a gold foam.
Right. Yeah.
There's the new one, and this is made out of the gold foam. So there's the red foam and the gold foam are the two. They're closed cell foams. They're amazing foams. They're both a European foam that Lake Country carries. That they made the pads out or the
yeah,
sponges
like,
out of.
Check that thing out, like feel it. It just feels different than other sponges.
It's softer and squishier than the red.
But it feels dense too.
But it's not as, but it looks exactly like it. It's a closed cell structure. It's a European foam. It's a nice high-end foam. It's nothing like that blue sponge. It's nothing
and
like
that's
it.
the thing. It's so easy to make.
Nothing like your typical yellow grout sponge. Nothing like it. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different on a chemical level, basically.
Yeah.
Because the foam is reticulated a certain way.
Yeah.
But I forgot what I was talking about here. Sorry, we get so deep here.
Hey, that's the fun of it, though. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying this because this is a fun little opportunity to just really get into the weeds in it. And to those of you who stuck around, thank you.
But like I was saying, it's being that person and not getting upset, not letting other things drag you down. And maybe if, we all get that. We get we get comments that piss us off.
Sure.
But we don't ever jump back at them.
No. If I respond to somebody who probably pissed me off, I'm looking at that going, well, okay, how can I reframe?
How can I diffuse the situation?
How can I de-escalate? How can I, change this for a positive outcome? Right. And not just a positive outcome for me, although that's great because, hey, we're all the, hero in our own life movie. But at the same time, I want to make sure everybody else is getting something positive out of it too. So if you can engage with those folks who come across as, a little rough around the edges at first and find common ground and understand what they were upset about, and maybe it's not what initially it seemed like it was, that's good for everybody if people can see, oh, wow, you could have taken that a really bad direction, but you didn't. You didn't go all Amy's Baking Company on it. So good job.
And it's like, what was I going to say? You get to a point where that person is going to write a negative comment. Yeah. You write a positive comment. If you could imagine if you were only writing negative comments all day long.
Yeah.
If you were sitting let's say you're sitting in an office and all you have is negativity all around you.
I mean, where's your headspace going to be at?
Yeah. If you get home and it's just you're negative to your family and your children.
Don't go home and kick your dog, guys. That's mean.
But I mean, if you think about it, there are guys that are always, and a lot of us know them, there are guys that are always looking for a fight.
It
doesn't matter what time of day, whether they're driving, they're looking for a fight.
Because everything is a slide against
90% of them, they're going to find a fight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. If you go out looking for a fight, somebody will deliver one for you.
Yeah. But it's that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you're in Reddit, if you're just looking to pick a fight,
don't be surprised when you find one.
Everything's going to be a fight for you.
Yeah.
Everything you're looking at. And people aren't going to want to hang out or talk to you because I can't go out with that guy. Every time we go out to get drinks, we get in a fight.
And now I have something new to be mad about. Nobody likes me. Why does nobody like me? I'm mad. Nobody likes me.
I knew a guy that did. That was it.
Maybe
every night he went out, he got in a fight. And it was like, and he's like, I can't even go out without getting in a fight. It's like, no, it's because you do that. You want
cause
the fight.
This. If you just change your perspective and your outward, and it's not changing who you are fundamentally as a person. It's just changing the way you interact with other people. If it means not getting into physical exchanges or like shouting matches with people, and you actually try and be a positive influence wherever you are, you'll find that you're actually going to turn out a little happier. Yeah. Probably. Everybody around you is going to be a little happier, and you're not going to have as many of those fights. Yeah. And you may actually find that you even kind of like not getting into fights all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But positivity is gross, and being mean all the time is
cool.
It's
not even that. It's just making sure it goes back to that doing to others as you would have them doing to you. You want to be nice to me, I'll be,
It's a golden rule, man.
I want you to be nice to me, so I'm going to be nice to you.
Yeah, but, you're being nice to me. You clearly have an ulterior motive. You want me to buy your stuff. No. I'm not falling for it, mister. I hate you. Yeah. Oh, see what happens? You could totally reframe that. It's like...
Yeah. So, bottom line, be cool.
Be cool.
and be nice and be helpful.
Yep.
And make sure that you're being helpful and not, unhelpful.
It's
so
possible
to
to disagree and still get along.
Yeah.
That's possible. Because eventually, if you disagree with everybody and you don't get along with those people, you're going to run out of people to disagree with.
Yep, pretty quickly.
Or at least people who will allow you to disagree with them.
You'll get bumped from that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. People get banned and ejected all the time. So
moving along. Sorry, we got deep on that.
Thanks for hanging in there.
So basically, we've hit all those topics.
Yeah.
So finishing up work on the, you're finishing our video.
Yeah,
our
so
SEMA experience video.
We did our SEMA, podcast where I kind of threw in some clips and stuff.
If you haven't watched it, check it out.
Our time
please. If you've been listening to our podcast, make sure you take the time. Go on to YouTube and watch it because you actually get to see.
It's a different experience than listening to the podcast. You actually watch the video. You'll see stuff that happened behind the scenes.
When we're talking about it.
Even like...
It was very well done.
Yeah.
Good job,
thanks.
Dane.
I tried.
I was excited to see that.
But this video, the SEMA experience video, this is going to be like... I'm framing it so it's like the day-to-day. Like each day on our trip, I just kind of compiling all the clips I've got available, which... To be honest, I didn't record as much as I thought I was going to this year. I think next year I'm going to really get more into that. But I'm still amazed.
It was new for you. It was a new experience.
And that's why I didn't want to miss out on stuff because I was hanging out behind the lens all the time.
Yeah,
so I wanted to be able to be present.
Us going forward.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do more.
But at the same time, because I didn't always have my cameras handy, I used my phone for a lot of this. I have an 8 Plus, iPhone, so the camera's actually not half bad. Got a lot of cool video, and I got video from your phone and from Anthony. We got a lot of stuff, so it's a little more personal. And to say nothing less of that, it's more fun. It's got that cool touch of just like, wow, it's like I'm really there, kind of thing. So it'll be a cool video, and it's like broken down day by day of stuff that happens.
And that'll be an actual video, not a podcast.
Right, that won't be a podcast. That'll be like
you can
more,
see our SEMA experience,
like more like our Air Force One video, where it's kind of like here's what we did, stuff like that. Although this one's going to be more like day in the life kind of stuff. Yeah. So anyway, look forward to that. I should have that done soon.
That'll be fun. And then we've already. If you knew this, we did this on Friday. We actually reserved our booth space again for next year.
We're on top of it this time.
So, well, we did it early last year too. It's just our first time. So
I think we're going to get a better spot this
hopefully
time.
We get a better spot this time. We've put in that we're getting a bigger booth. And
turns out the booth we had just a hair too small. Too many people showed up.
Just a little bit.
Thanks
to
everybody who did.
This year we'll get our booth size again.
Yep.
But so excited for that. So we already put in for that. So hopefully we'll see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll put us in the ranking quicker, sooner, and we can actually get a spot. I hope so.
I think those folks who were at the door in the info booth, they were taking notes, right?
Hopefully. So that'll be good. Rest of this week, I'm taking the day off tomorrow. What'd you do on your day off?
I literally did not leave home except to run some quick errands. I think I spent most of my time watching that Mindhunter show on Netflix, which looked really cool.
It is good.
I haven't gotten too far into it yet, but I know it probably inspired me a little bit for today's podcast because I wanted to just get into people's heads. So,
if you haven't watched that show, it is good. I really I liked Mindhunters. It was good. Tomorrow, I'm getting new windows and door and a sliding glass door getting put into my house.
All right.
And my boy Augie is getting insulin. So he's already on insulin, but he's getting insulin put into his pump. So he got his pump installed, his insulin pump last week. It's been running saline this week. Because they programmed it, and they want to just make sure that it follows the program.
Right.
And he doesn't die. So
important, very important.
So he gets the insulin, and then so that'll be Wednesday morning. So tomorrow morning we're going to put insulin in, and he'll be off to the races. So now he's got the CGM, he's got the insulin. We've been talking to him that he's like a superhero now.
That's great.
Because I told him that Iron Man has a glucose monitor. That's what's on his chest. So told him the arc reactor is a glucose monitor.
It's a really fancy one.
Yeah, he really liked that. And so now he showed that. And then I told him that Batman carries his insulin pump on his utility belt.
Nice.
Because he carries his utility belt. So
I will say the camera just died. I guess we've been on this for a while, but that's okay. So audio's still recording. I'll put a little thing up on screen that says, sorry, can't see us anymore, but that's okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so Yeah, so we got that tomorrow, so it'll be good times.
All right.
So you and Anthony can have fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess we'll be back to work as usual.
Yep.
But we'll see how that goes.
Well, cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for... I keep looking up at the camera like it's on. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Every time somebody shares this podcast with a friend or tells someone else, it's such a great feeling to hear more people tell us, oh, I caught your podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who does. And to those who are
thank you.
just discovering this, and maybe you don't know, we're on a lot of different platforms. So whether it's Stitcher or TuneIn
there's
Radio,
no excuse not to listen to us. No excuse.
Google Play Store, iTunes, you'll find us. Just search the Rag Company Podcast.
Yep.
So, at any rate,
well, cool.
That's that. All right,
guys,
Levi.
have fun.
We're
Enjoy.
out. Till next week when we'll have Anthony back again. Have a good one, guys.
We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.